You let other people fight your battles for you. And Gamsu does play tanks, but Vizicachi has primarily been playing carries, so I don't think the strategy works that well. The whole tank situation for Fnatic is something I do want to talk about, because I have the feeling that with Cly and Reckless having the Swedish Brotherhood synergy and some of the comments they've made, that they will actually shift their playstyle and their jungle attention towards the bottom lane, start camping, and that's why we will see more tanks from Gamsu. Just get the constant in the top lane and put the variable in the bottom lane with the more aggression, with the forward playstyle. You know, maybe we see some more Kalista come out. We won't because she's banned. There's some more dueling potential from that Clyde Reckless bot lane.
Yeah, I was very excited when you talked about that yesterday in terms of how Fnatic played around Clyde Reckless. We'll see how they do against UOL today. Steelback and Hilly have had quite an impressive start to the year. Run through the bans. Nidalee, Quinn, Kalista, Fiora. Down to the last two. Poppy still up and available.
Yep. Gangplank.
Alistair still there as well.
Alistair probably the strongest support right now, so definitely need to watch out. Like Corki is available as a flex. Lately it's actually gone away from mid lane and moved into the safe AD carry role to get a ludicrous counter pick in the mid lane that nobody expects.
Yeah, and of course we are playing on 6.2 all champions enabled.
Ooh, interesting.
Ban Lucian. So Corki's still available,
yeah.
And insta-lock Alistair.
Yeah, so that's pretty much saying, what do you want? Do you want the best support or best AD carry? Fnatic, with that Lucian ban, kind of have to pick up Corki here, or they have a very unique strategy prepared.
And Gangplank is still open and available, something that UOL have run. Chachi himself actually picked that up, went 0-0-8, just played very well. Good pressure, used that ultimate to pick up assists, and for Fnatic, it's a Kindred Ezreal, so interesting first picks. Kindred I like, Ezreal.
Kindred I like if Nidalee's off the table. She's like, if you saw what Jankos did yesterday in the Rek'Sai matchup, she can actually reveal him on level 3 and 4 and just duel him from range. If there's nobody that can collapse, that's the one condition. Make sure nobody's around. So you see what Rudy answers. It was actually against Rudy, I believe, yesterday that the Kindred harass came out, so see if he learned from it. Perhaps he says, you know what, screw pro play, Runic echoes Udyr, here we come, straight out of solo queue.
Isn't that with Z0 at the highest win percentage at the moment in solo queue?
Could very well be.
I haven't checked across which elos, but it still counts.
I don't know, man. I wouldn't know. I spend more time in queue instead of actually playing the game.
Well, one day you'll be able to play that.
And the teams that play against me, they stomp me in 20 minutes these days, so I don't even get to see their full item builds.
I actually heard Fnatic getting their makeup just before coming on stage, and they were saying after the day's games, they'll go jump into dynamic queue and beat Creppo.
Yeah.
They actually were bragging about it off air. So
yo, they cheesed. Can you believe that? They pulled minions in solo queue, then they hid in the brush for 2 entire minutes, and they hooked my solo queue AD carry. Yeah, okay, that doesn't work in the LCS. So if Reckless and Clyde want to cheese this game, I just say it's not going to work. Play proper League of Legends, please.
Well, we'll find out. I'm sure they will. There's a lot more at stake here than just Creppo's LP. And with
Which is also valuable.
The Poppy and the Corki locked in, I think a lot of those really, really high priority picks on this patch are now available. For Fnatic, with the Kindred, which we're expecting jungle, and then Ezreal most likely in Reckless's hands, it has to be a top lane tank for Nautilus, for Gamsu rather, and it is locked.
Just call him Nautilus, skip his name. Yeah, top lane tank, but a passive bot lane in nature though. Ezreal, Braum can shift to aggressive mode, but usually you want Ezreal to max range farm. I wonder what Steelback's going to play. It feels like a Caitlyn kind of game right here. Could come out here. We have decent peel for it. Kind of not a lot of things to enable it, but you want something with a gap closer that can hopefully survive the Nautilus ultimate in the team fights. What else is available? What am I missing here? Marksman.
That is a tough question.
I mean, you can't go Jinx against Disengage, not against the Braum shield either. Caitlyn's available. The good old Urgot.
Wow, no. Not yet. PBE changes on the server. So for UOL, what will the AD carry be? Alternatively, just run that Corki with Steelback. Also got your Disengage and just give that safe Orianna to Fox. He has been really
even
preferring
about
the Assassins.
There's an Orianna hover. Pretty interesting caster right here. Yeah, Corki AD carry way better, obviously. And then going for the wave clear. Seems a little passive though, on the side of Unicorns of Love. 2 melee supports plus pretty safe laners, so not much action that will be generated from them on the bottom lane. They have a blind Victor, which then can get abused a little bit early. If an Ahri comes out right now, we could see them push it in. I spoke to Febiven about the matchup yesterday in the player room. I asked him who wins, Victor or Ahri. After laughing a little bit at me, he said, of course Ahri wins. AFK push and then you roam and you kill your team. And we looked at Spirit, who was next to him, and he said, I will just roam with you and kill everyone. So hopefully Ari comes out here, so we can see that.
Featherman has played it twice. 1-1, lost 1. Very good stats. 9, 3, and 11. Alternatively, an assassin that could do a similar job will be LeBlanc, but going to be exactly what you've predicted here, Crepo.
I mean, he predicted it.
No, touche.
I could have spun the story. Yeah, I think Featherman right here. Yeah, he's going to lock in the Ari.
Yes or no GP? Yes or no GP? You got a few seconds left.
I mean, he can play GP too. Both work because he has impact with his ultimate on the side lanes, but he has a weaker lane, and that's the situation where we see Nuketock going up against Perks. We saw that Victor push in over and over, and it's just where you want the pressure. If you want the better late game scaling, you can go Gangplank here, and you can slow down the tempo of the game with those cannon barrages. But I think for Fnatic, when they have a Nautilus that can hopefully pressure top a little bit with E-spam early, they have an Ahri that they can pressure mid, then they can at least allow Ezreal to sit a little farther back in the bottom lane. Otherwise, I think they would yield too much pressure. And if they yield so much pressure, they can't enable Kindred to go on any sort of duels in the enemy jungle. She will be found out by Rudy then. So I like the Ahri pick in terms of aggression early, but they need to make it count, obviously.
That's what I was going to say. For Featherman and Fnatic, they're going to find those picks. They're going to make sure they follow up on any Nautilus CC that's put down or Spirit's roams actually pay off. So team comps are locked in. Remember that UOL and Fnatic tied in the standings, but it's UOL that own the head-to-head. Flags are lit above these players. And this is an important game for Fnatic because obviously they made that substitution for Clyde. Had a debut game yesterday against Elements, but this is now going to be a much sterner opposition.
Yep.
And we'll see how he's going to handle the pressure.
He is playing Braum though, and that gameplay pattern is pretty much the same in solo queue as it is in competitive. It is eat as many skill shots with your shield as you can.
I'm very good at that gameplay. You guys at home, tell us, who do you think's going to win this one on Twitter? Hashtag UOL win or hashtag FNC win. Make your predictions as we load up onto the Rift for Unicorns versus Fnatic.
All right. Let's see. Take a look at these team comps, because we haven't really gone over the goal of both compositions. Unicorns of Love, they have, decent defense in terms of when they get siege upon. Victor, incredibly safe wave clear. You heard the chat sound right there. You guys can't see it, but if you hear a little tick, it is hi, it's Rudy. Smiley, dot P from Steelback.
It would be. Just
keeping you guys informed.
30 seconds until minions.
Also expecting a lane swap here. You can see that Steelback and Hilly have already moved their way up, despite the fact it's melee support.
Expecting a lane swap. Yeah, I'm not quite as familiar with the Poppy Nautilus matchup. I know Nautilus does well into melee carries in the top lane because he just has really good minion wave advantage if he uses his E. If you trade with him though, he's forced to use the E, and that in turn makes the wave push, so you can kind of bait him into pushing, but you can never outpush him if he kind of wants to stop you from that. That is the benefit, because it deals so much damage. Really high base damage, especially if you run away from it. You will run the risk of eating the third tick of the Nautilus E, and then things get messy.
That's exactly what Gamsu's hoping for. We'll find out how Rudy's going to perform, because up until yesterday's game, he actually looked like he transitioned from solo queue to stage very, very well. And yesterday against H2K, he was playing Rek'Sai. Had a much more difficult start to the game. Gamsu holding hands with Spirits.
Spirit was running Thunderlords, no strength of the Aegis on an already squishy Kindred into an Elise matchup. That is bold.
We'll see if it pays off, Crepo.
Alright, we saw Gamsu crash into the top lane and then run back, so he wasn't really expecting the swap. Didn't get any CS in the top lane. He's walking back to Spirit right now. So the Unicorns did the same thing, send in Poppy, walks back, joins the double jungle. Obviously no teams had deep vision, so no teams had any guarantee of what's going on, so you kind of have to do the safety check in the bottom lane.
Yeah, we'll check back in a few minutes what the opportunity cost maybe would be, because I feel like Gamsu got back into the jungle with Spirit a few seconds earlier. I doubt it'll make a large difference. Clyde's already on a warding mission.
Confirming that they started in the bottom side of the jungle probably, and that Raptor's alive. So yeah, he checks red. So now they know exactly what happened. They did Krugs into red buff. They're pathing at the other side. So both teams were operating under pretty much complete information here.
So you assume both teams know what their opponents have done.
I mean, if they don't, they'll know very soon because both top laners will reveal in the top lane.
Exactly.
So look at the towers.
The tower race. So who's going to get ahead on the tempo? UOL have done a lot of work on that top turret.
Definitely the Unicorns because they initiated the play. They set up the wave. Reckless slow pushed this in because Kai was roaming, but Alistar passive also helps against turrets. Just double check that didn't get changed. Yep.
Get a couple extra autos down. Push the wave. Tower number 1 falls in favor of UOL.
So this thing pulls the wave for a mini freeze. Need to see what Vizichachi does. Usually you freeze for about 4 or 5 creeps and then you push it back if you expect people to come deny you off that freeze.
Well, take a look in the middle lane. Spirit is coming in, and Fox is in trouble. Flash for flash. There's a red buff. The slow gets applied. Febiven has been forced to play defensive, holds onto his flash for now. Teleport from Vizichachi. He's looking for Spirit. Spirit has already flashed aggressively. Dance of arrows away. Repel will put Rudy in range on the stun against the wall. First blood, UOL.
Yeah, instant teleport there from Vizichachi, and one may beg the question, where was Gamsu to turn that all around? Some critique we had, and many people had on Gamsu, was just the fact that his teleport just weren't quite there yet. And just action happens, instant teleport from Vizichachi, cuts off the escape route, and then obviously Spirit without flash dies. And the top wave is freezing right now. Fnatic doing the right thing, sending 3 people top so they can use that massive wave to dive whoever defends. And that will mean that Unicorns, the cost of that TP will obviously be that they're down TP advantage, and they will lose a lot of experience in top lane because Nautilus was farming.
Yeah, but look at UOL's response. They've got double buffs on Chachi, 3-man stack on the bottom outer turret, and they may be able to get this before Fnatic even touch that top lane turret. So as far as the early game goes, UOL is extremely happy.
Yeah, the only moment where this actually matters, the speed on the second tier 1, is if they continue pushing on the tier 2 in the bottom lane, which they could opt for, but then they need really good game awareness here. Slowing down though. Also running out of spells. No more trample passive on the tower.
You see the support coming in from Fnatic. Gamsu and Spirit made their way to the top quadrant of the map. Cly hitting that tower as best they can. And Chachi's going to be given the gold as the rest of the UOL squad is backed away from this bottom lane.
Proper bounce too. Wave push back. Look at Vizichachi. He's going to just freeze that wave and back out. He's going to base immediately.
So as it stands, UOL coming out ahead from this lane swap. They've got themselves a kill. The gold will be evened out once Gamsu kills the tower in a few seconds.
Yeah, I was just waiting for as many creeps as possible to die. But because the Unicorns are kind of ahead of the tempo, it doesn't really matter because this freeze will just be turned into a push here by Steelback. Steelback could be able to do this alone. We see synergy here between Hillsang and Rudy. This is Rudy though, on the vision from the Scuttle Crab doing Rift Herald.
A lot of support from Fnatic though. Febiven and Gamsu are going to try a
Level 2
pincer.
Gamsu, by the way.
Yeah, he's still very low down. Chachi, steadfast presence, zones away Febiven, and the Rift Herald's going to lose his patience and reset. But UOL have not lost their patience, and they're going to stick around. This time, though, Fnatic, they've pulled support. We've not really seen contests over the Rift Herald all that frequently.
Nope. I mean, the Unicorns, while it may look silly, the amount of time they're spending on that Rift Herald, the bottom wave is kind of just slow pushing their way. Reckless will now fix that by pushing it out, so they have some time to play the map. They just need to make sure that they don't lose anything once that wave hits, and Fnatic can use a numbers advantage somewhere else on the map.
For Fnatic, they need to use a numbers advantage because kind of feel like their comp has a few more options to go aggressive with the easy engage Nautilus, the mobility of both Kindred and Ahri.
They have good hard engage, but don't underestimate Cocoon, you know, teleport flying from Vizichachi, or just Alistar Q Flash.
The Fnatic Bush. Steelback has got Valkyrie and Flash, and that was quite uninspiring, but he gets away with his life. Chachi is now going aggressive onto Reckless. Gamsu's going to start the teleport. Reckless is putting a lot of damage onto Vizichachi. Poppy down to less than 100 hit points, and Reckless easily picks up a kill. Rudy wasn't really committing. The minions helping out so much there too.
Yeah, and just you would think that Vizichachi with such a good teleport early would at least respect the teleport potential. Spirit face checks here. He'll not gonna actually walk behind him. That's the problem.
He's too close to the wall. Spirit is dancing of arrows over the wall.
So when you face check, and there could be an Alistar face check at the edge because he physically can't walk behind you to headbutt you in. Spirit manages to make his way out there, and this Unicorns make the mistake. This is what we talked about. They lose to this wave pressure by going for an aggressive play. That's what Fnatic did not do in the top lane.
Well, it looks like they're sticking around. Reckless takes a turret shot, breaks aggros, backing away. Still has flash and heal. Chachi dashes away to a minion. Repel up. There are still minions around. Reckless, he goes forward, kills Chachi again. Chachi may as well facepalm.
Yeah, the Unicorns don't underestimate the damage and pressure from minions. We saw that comically Fnatic gank in the top lane. Why? Because there were so many minions there, and the Unicorns could have somebody hidden somewhere to add extra damage. Fnatic just focused on wave clear. The bottom lane, the opposite happens. Unicorns go for a sloppy fight, not respecting teleports, not respecting minions twice, and suddenly Fnatic pull ahead.
So, all of a sudden, Fnatic have a 1,500 gold lead. An inner turret down in the bottom half of the map, and they can reassign their resources. Fan vote still in favor of Fnatic.
As always.
Yep, real surprise there, but it started looking a little scary. And you know, Fnatic's lane swaps have not been very impressive this split. A number of times we've seen them misread the situation or respond a little slow. However, making up for the pressure UOL put down, Fnatic did very well. Yeah, and they punished UOL's mistake.
At the start of the split, Fnatic would often fall behind both lanes and lane swaps, but then by the 20-minute mark, they would even it out. You all remember that would be behind was Reckless. Right now his CS is 12 down, but he got 2 kills. Hashtag worth.
And talking about CS, both Gamsu and Vizichachi incredibly low. Yeah. Starved. Cly could be in trouble here. Level 4. He's going to get the Winter's Bite onto Fox, and Unbreakable will keep him healthy. Decent zoning from UOL. They get a couple of autos down, but the wave clears now arrived for Fnatic.
Yeah, the early Negatron probe just kind of removes Fevin's all-in potential, and he's actually not pressuring the wave as much as he would like to. Fox doing a good job keeping that matchup even. Even on CS Victor into Ahri, and your tower not being chipped away as much is actually really good for the Victor. He is playing Knight Victor though, we have to remember that. No going defensive cleanse. Seeing what he's playing against, that may actually come to bite him later in the game, because Braum passive, Braum knock-up, you can cleanse some parts of the knock-up and then flash out, because it goes like, it goes knock-up into kind of a stun then. The way the game is coded, so
we'll see how Fox handles himself, Crepper, because Fnatic now they are the ones dictating the moves. Already got 3-man stack up top. There's no teleport for Gamsu, and the Chaos Storm used by Fox just to clear out the wave. It's decent damage, defensive flash from Cly, maybe overestimating the safety.
Yeah, just did not account for Ruby potentially flanking him. Does the right thing though, just flashes immediately, keeps the tempo up. Steelback now moved into the mid lane for wave clear. Bottom lane is dead, 38 CS and 32.
Would it be fair to say Steelback could be in the mid lane a while now, considering the health of that mid turret?
I mean, likely we'll see Fox go back to mid lane though. You don't want to have Victor's side lane clearing, because he doesn't have a gap closer. He can't really push out the wave far enough. Corki can do that a lot easier. Has Valkyrie, at least to just dodge a skill shot a little bit.
It's always interesting to me once you get 3, 4, 5 towers down before really like 10 minutes, what the next step is. Because so often we see, okay, let's go ARAM, let's try get the other team's mid lane before we lose ours.
It's
and
usually
it slows down the tempo.
It's deep vision, but it's very hard to completely... it's like a multi-step process, and if you screw up one of the steps, everything you've done before kind of gets ruined. Because you got to play with side wave control. See a little bit of a siege here, Steelback poking away. Ahri not in the mid lane, shifts very often to the side lanes, and then you need to make sure that your AD carry jungle combination has a lot of wave clear. This time though, Reckless on Ezreal, Spirit on Kindred don't have that. So if they can keep Ahri in the side lane, Unicorns have a favorable position in the mid lane. That's why we see Feven path back here. But it's pressure, and that means Fnatic is not pushing out their side lanes. Hopefully nothing happens here. Just take a look at the bottom lane. That's a very, very big slow push that's going to come out, which means there will be a lot of denied CS to Fnatic. They're not killing any of these waves that walk in. Look at Feven right now. He kind of wants to solve that, because he knows if he doesn't go there right now, he'll take like 2 minutes of waves continuously crashing into that bottom wave. And that's why Unicorns keep pressuring, because they know Fnatic has to push out their lanes on the side lanes, not just even them out, just actually force them out, because otherwise you get this massive stack, but you can't really do anything with that because you just lose too much CS.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. Feven is dealing with it. There's a small altercation in the top lane. Chachi and Gamsu. It's 2 tanks though. You can see those balmy cinders burning one another down. Poppy passive gets a small shield. Gamsu still holding on to his. And
yeah, but you're still playing with % max HP on Chachi on IQ, and he's has it at rank 4 right now, so regardless of items, essentially he'll do a lot of damage to Gamsu.
so Gamsu and Chucky still going at it. Back and forth. The dash forward. Depth charge connects onto Chachi.
Gonna swing
Gamsu's
Hammer.
going to carry on swinging. Riptide is out. The root down. And pop, it's hammer time. Chachi gets away with his life.
Not respecting just the base damage here on that Riptide from the Nautilus in these trades. It's just snare into all attack. Reset the shield from Nautilus, resets your all attack. So in trades, we saw Gamsu use it. Your all attack, shield, bonus damage, Riptide when you're running away. Incredibly cumbersome to deal with. Chachi had to flash there. Q probably wasn't up for Gamsu because otherwise flash Q seals the deal.
The Poppy W. Nautilus doesn't care. Riptide and Dredgeline. He doesn't want to run away.
I mean, it does stop part 2 of the Dredgeline, but you still eat the damage.
Yep. That's all Gamsu was looking for. He's got that Sunfire Cape completed already. Swifty's secured. Rudy not shopping yet. But it's going to interrupt the back. Now all of a sudden Fnatic have got some time. Fox actually went to clear out that bottom wave that Febiven had shoved in.
Yeah,
and this allows Fnatic to
This is the payoff of Fnatic actually pushing out their side lanes. This is something we see Splice actually not do. And we really have to praise Fnatic. They held on through the darker times in the mid lane when they were outnumbered, and they were like, guys, just hang in there. The payoff will come at the end. That is Febiven pushing in that wave, having pressure, forcing Victor to go bot. Then Febiven can roam into mid for pressure. That's why Unicorns can't really aggressively clear the wave eventually, and then Fnatic can siege down the turret. So good minion wave manipulation.
I think you could say Winions.
Minions? Not yet.
It won them a tower. Small victories. The fourth one of the game, in fact, for Fnatic. First dragon as well. Starting to get those fantasy points if you have them on your team. And Gamsu, this wave is pushing towards him ever so slowly.
Yeah.
Which means UOL now have to figure out what they want to do.
So Gamsu is online in terms of minion push too, because he has Sunfire and Riptide that pretty much clears out the entire wave. That's his job right now. It is to push out waves and teleport into fights and provide CC. That means the damage has to come from the remaining 3 carries from Fnatic. Spirit, Febiven, and Reckless. And they're all doing fine so far. The blue build will ramp up later. He got accelerated into that too with those 2 kills that he picked up in the bottom lane. Fnatic honestly looking good in this game so far.
Yeah. I do think Gamsu's teleports, we have to watch them. He's had 1 teleport that was late, 1 teleport that was on time, and helped Reckless shove that inner turret down a little while ago. Now TP's available, and Gamsu's about to meet Chachi in that bottom lane as UOL siege mid.
One interaction we still need to remember is that the Braum shield can actually stop the laser from Victor. It is a projectile. Hopefully we will see that in some of the fights. We see Hylissang lurking here on Reckless. A few flash.
Fox, flash for flash. Reckless. Oh, is able to flash away. He stays alive. Clyde puts down the Glacial Fissure. One more tick of the Storm. Reckless gets shut down. The Storm sends him packing. And you can see Reckless on the player cam bottom right. He is just heartbroken. UOL get the kill and they get the tower. And there was no TP from Gamsu. Maybe it wasn't needed, but UOL, they're continuing the siege.
Yeah, sieging up right here. I think Spirit was doing Raptors, and one of the Raptors came to zone off Reckless in his escape path to the left, which means he had to path into the lane. Kind of want to rewatch that eventually. It doesn't really matter though, but yeah, I think the Raptors zoned him in there. Good aggressive move though. To go for a Q flash on an Ezreal is really bold from Hylissang, because you will always expect him to shift out, but Fox, zero hesitating follow-up. What we like seeing from the Unicorn. Stoning ultimate here.
He's winding up. Oh, it's going to swing and a miss. Now Chachi's in a little bit of trouble. Dance of Arrows going forward. Look at the charm onto Hilly. He manages to get popped.
Yeah, you can't afford to not aim it at R there. You have to force either an ultimate stack. Let's watch that again. Q flash here. He's got to reveal first. That's why Reckless gets the shift respect here. Really good play by Reckless. Not much we can do. He's like, no, running away. Ah, surprise!
Oh, look at that Raptor. What a clever girl.
Death by jungler. He would have been fine. Maybe he could even run and get the Raptor reset off the 1 all attack. I'm not quite sure, but if you look at the patience bar right there, ain't nobody got time for that.
Well, all of a sudden now, UOL find themselves a kill. Aggressive positioning in the jungle of Fnatic. And they managed to break open that middle lane. So
that was the definition of a hit or miss Poppy ultimate in the round though. If that hits, yeah, you can siege, but the second that zone goes out, Febiven just reads the situation perfectly and he's like, okay, there's no Alistar ultimate available. Poppy just used ulti. He's gonna dash in and kill somebody. Gets Hylissang right there.
Small solace. Kill secured by Gamsu. I guess that's pretty good actually when you consider Fnatic's front line. They really need Gamsu and Fly eventually to disrupt Spectre's Cal, so MR, thanks to that kill and that CS he's been picking up. Considering that these top laners were so starved for the first 10 minutes, you can see how much wave catching they've been playing with over the last little while. No banner of command yet. But do you think we'll see some side lane pressure?
I think he's fine. I think he's fine doing it on himself with his base damages, and he just goes for a more teamfight oriented build because there's so much magic damage, because that's something we haven't really touched upon, which is the damage distribution here on the Unicorns. Rudy, Fox, Steelback, you know, for the setup of these fights, a lot of magic damage. So if you want to play a tank in those compositions, you'll be soaking most of their poke. So Gamsu looking to just split push with Sunfire, that's enough, and then join the fights and soak up as much damage as you can.
Looking forward to seeing who picks up the Aegis on Fnatic. You can see Reckless in this middle lane. He picked up Rift Herald buff, got the Frozen Fist, continuing to stack the Maramune. Thank you to the Muramana. Blah, blah.
Yep. That blue item,
closely.
the blue swordie is now a bluer swordie.
A blue, there we go, you see? Muramana. I was looking at the stacks and I got confused because they're so close together. But regardless, for Fnatic, still minorly in the lead.
Yep.
But with all the towers down, it becomes vision. And
So
this is going to push out these lanes.
This is where we need to watch how has Cly adapted to the climate right here in professional play, where you need to focus on a lot more deep vision rather than skirmishes. Good deep vision setup right now though, zoning off, pushing that side wave. Vizisachi continuously has to yield the pressure. Whether it's Gamsu showing up or somebody else zoning him off the wave, so he's not really playing the pressure game that he likes to play, where he's actually the one winning the duels, winning the split push, and that kind of has a ripple effect on the Unicorns lineup overall.
Alright, Fnatic, they got that deep vision down, bottom quadrant. They start clearing out some pink wards. You can see Febiven coming to support, and Gamsu moving to the top half as well. So Fnatic pushing all three lanes, getting some vision inside UOL's jungle, and this could give them a more informed decision for this next objective.
They don't have any objectives identified right now that they want to take, so they're just kind of starving your jungle, stealing away as much as they can, and just setting up the foundations for what will be a Baron play eventually. Yeah, they can take here the extra dragon, Scuttle Crab. They're just taking everything away from Unicorns. They're just starving them right now, putting them on lower resources, pushing them in, and then they can just, using the deep vision that's there, to then put even more deep vision. And it's really hard for a team like Unicorns to break out of that, because as you see on your screen, they've opted for triple blue trinket, which means those wards get swept really quickly. You kind of only use them to face check. Oh, they're not there, cool, but the ward will be gone. Fnatic, they like playing with more yellow trinkets, really locking down that vision in the enemy jungle, and seeing if they can then use that to play with the Fog of War a little bit. And Noxiac and Spirit in the past didn't have the best synergy in terms of warding. We saw Spirit get caught a couple of times warding on his own. You can see right now if he's working better with Kai on that.
See how it works out for them. Kly's the one, actually Kly and Spirit both on the counter warding so far with those sweeping trinkets. Mortis picked up for Spirits after his warrior enchant. We mentioned already he was running Thunderlords, not Strength of the Aegis, so going to be a little squishier as these games continue to scale up. And Gamsu's got the Spirit Visage, so as far as that front line, he's becoming a lot beefier.
Yeah, if we go late game though, we need to start wondering who's going to win. Kindred obviously deals more damage late game than Rudy's Elise, but Fox's Victor should do more in team fights than an Ahri in the late game. But Vizichachi, eventually Gamsu's base damage will not be enough to deal with the Poppy, and Vizichachi should get strong enough to just take him down. You can't deal against percent max HP spam that Vizichachi can bring. You see a Baron Rush here from the Unicorns. They've kind of lured Fnatic in a false sense of security, and you see some pinks, but they have no blue trinkets, because the only blue trinket is on Reckless is on cooldown, so they're becoming victim of their vision game. And yet again, Fnatic are looking to fall. They're going to lose this Baron.
UOL pull a 2015 Fnatic Baron. They sneak the Baron, uncontested, completely safe. And that puts them in a phenomenally good position.
Yeah, and to analyze this play, you kind of have to go back 2 minutes, like who didn't base, who didn't refresh his wards, because once you get deep wards in bottom red jungle, you need to base, move to the top side, and then deep vision in the blue jungle, because Baron is the next objective of the map. You can't leave it clean, and if you don't get any wards in there, by all means, make sure you have blue trinkets to panic check, because otherwise this will happen. We see Fox, or Steelback was holding in the mid lane on the Corki, and they just took the Baron down comically. used Ezreal ult right there.
I think our observer's a little hungry following the banana Ezra ultimate. Baron power play graph is on the top of your screen. Blue team Baron counting down the buff duration to 2 minutes and 10 seconds left. Nobody's running Runic Affinity. There's no additional bonus. And because Fnatic were in lanes farming, you can see they've actually started to claw back some of that gold gain. That UOL pick up around 1,500 just for killing Baron. Let's see how it's going to finish off, because now UOL can start the siege with those Baron-empowered minions.
It just neutralizes any side lane pressure. It's so easy to deal with Nautilus pushing the side lane or just siege, because look at the wave clear. It was already minimal that we were talking about. Ahri can no longer one-shot waves, especially not versus Baron enhanced minions.
But there's no one to deal with there, Crepo.
That's why Fnatic doing. They know they will lose the straight defense, so they're just going on the offense, looking to trade turrets instead. And then Gamsu can't do anything. He has auto attacks. That's his wave clear right now. So we need to look at Rudy, at Spirit rather, and Reckless, who have more physical wave clear. We see hard engage in the mid lane.
Hillesang has knocked Spirit forward, but he gets bumped backwards immediately. Chachi throws down the hammer, and the verdict is you are out of here. The Lamb's Respite will keep Spirit alive for a few more seconds before he gets dropped down. Gamsu gets the dredge line into some minions, and Fox is being hammered down. Reckless Arcane shifts away to safety. It's a tower down in the top lane that Febiven was able to pick up, and a 1-for-2 team fight in the middle.
Yeah, 1-for-2 team fight, but the tower went down in the top lane too, so Febiven going on the offense, because the defense, they would have just gotten AoE'd and engaged upon. Fnatic managed to hang on, and this will likely stall out the Baron entirely, so good move there. Bold move though. I think Fnatic even overstepped their bounds a little bit, but they were very aggressive in their defense. If that makes sense. Kind of stepped very far forward on the tier 2 mid tower and just allowed Febiven to split push.
Worked out for Fnatic. They maintain the towers at 1-to-1, and here's a replay of that fight.
Hillesang goes for the W back on Spirit. I think the E fails here. Yeah, Vizichachi doesn't land the E connect on Spirit to knock him into the wall. Spirit actually dashes out and just buys so much time. Spirit definitely winning the fight here. Taking so many cooldowns, and then Kai managed to flash out. That baits in Fox. So even though Fox finished the kill, it came at a great cost. And that kind of sealed the deal right there.
So Baron power play has officially ended thanks to that stall. Basically the gold gain was just from Baron itself. Fnatic able to get instant kill at the cost of only 1. And continuing to scale up those items, continuing to get bigger and bigger. Makings of Death Cap, I believe, for Febiven. Rylai's completed plus Abyssal for Fox. 2 tanks in the top lane. Chachi's gone for the Frozen Fist, so...
Steelback going for the Fire Cannon second. Slowing down. Enhanced aura attack, more siege, less damage. No Infinity Edge
yet
that we see. Sometimes we see it early on the Koki's second item. He's building it likely though. Aegis finished on Hillesang is definitely good for some magic damage against a lot of these base damages that come out of Fnatic.
So we're even on gold, even on kills. Only 1 additional tower in favor of Fnatic from that sort of strong mid-game play. But it's all about vision still. We're not seeing...
Yeah, it's vision and side lane pressure, but we have the Frozen Fist finished right now on Vizichachi, and that should swing the duel, at least in his favor. Not quite sure how strong Gamsu is with so much magic resistance itemization, because the Q is physical. You would think that Vizichachi, he knows that he's 1v1, should be able to chase Gamsu down.
Well, we'll see, because they could go toe-to-toe in a little while. Blue buff picked up there by Reckless, just sneaking around. That's helped out by the rest of Fnatic. I want to talk about the trinket differences here between UOL and Fnatic, because UOL have gone for 3 blues, 2 reds, versus a mixed match from Fnatic.
Yeah, we touched on that a little earlier, and it led to the Baron eventually. Fnatic hopefully not making the same mistake again. Is just vital for Reckless to keep it up as long as he can, and then know that when it isn't cooldown, that he communicates that to his team. Still need to see more synergy between Spirit and Cly in terms of vision and roaming together though. It's kind of getting later in the game where it matters less. But overall, Fnatic vision, the setup, the phase 1 was good there in the bottom jungle. We praised them for that, but then it kind of fell apart again. So definitely the topic. Daylor will have a stern word with the lineup though. We see teleport flank, bottom left of your screen.
Who is the target? Fox is the man. The mine knocks him up into the end. All of Fnatic are committing forward. Fox is still alive. He continues to live as the Glacial Fissure separates. The fight has become split. Reckless is running for his life as Fox is finally taken down. But Vizichachi is winding up. The keeper's verdict will boot Spirit away. And now Gamsu's left for dead. Off on the side screen. Reckless was able to get one back into Rudy. So far it's a 2-for-1. In favor of Fnatic.
Yeah, absolutely insane ultimate there from Vizichachi. Good pilling by Hylissang, but what the hell was Rudy doing? He chased Reckless 1v1 and died. You could see him facepall at the end of that play. All he had to do was not chase, just stick with the team. So if you go for that 1v1, you know how it plays out. You've played enough games to know like, what Ezreal's kite potential is, and just managed to pick up a kill there. It's really hard to chase a blue Ezreal.
Rudy found out the hard way. He said yesterday on camera, I can explode at any time.
Oh, he did.
Not quite the explosion he was hoping for.
Context is everything.
But 1, 1, and 3 on that Elise. Starting to get tanky as well with the Runic Echoes. And Abyssal. Deadman's plate 2, so...
He's definitely going to need some value out of the Deadman's. If you get like... Yeah, what's in the name, right?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, that was a bit childish, but it made me chuckle.
He was dead, haha. No. Actually didn't make that connotation ever.
Yeah, I know. It's real low-hanging fruit, Capo.
Alright, we see Fnatic passing to Baron right now. Low amounts of vision. One blue trinket available on Fox. Look at the look at the Fog of War right now. Febiven in the mid lane. You see the ward come over in mid too. So that's 2 members accounted for. Fnatic with the bait.
Let's take a look how this plays out. UOL get their first dragon in about 29 minutes, so that bonus 6% is so useful. Even out the 2 dragons that Fnatic have, but it's the Baron dance. Look at the side, you can see Cly with the help of Gamsu.
Yeah, and just keep your eyes on the minimap. Top wave is pushing for Fnatic. Bottom lane seems to be pushing for the Unicorns. So one side lane each. The better one is obviously to have bot lane pushing. So Unicorns kind of need to hang on, and eventually they will force Gamsu back, and his teleport is still in cooldown.
And also 5 flashes for Fnatic versus only 2 for UOL. Chachi's got the steadfast presence down already, and Clyde's in the front line. A 2-man gravity stun into a knockup from Hylissang, and Fnatic have been routed. They're on the defense. They're trying to run away. The respite will not be enough to save Spirit's life, and now Steelback, he eats a Mystic Shot. That's a long-range dash from Vizichachi. Febiven will at least reply in kind. 1 for 2, a team fight that UOL win. Look at the damage from Febiven and Reckless.
Yeah.
Blue Shot Barrage is still up, and UOL, they can't really risk Baron, can they?
Yeah, slight overchase there at the end because I think the Poppy ulti did connect. Febiven got knocked out of the fight, and that's why he still had every ability available. So Fox kind of oversteps there. Tries to trade. Obviously, at the end of the fight, you expect Ahri to no longer have any spells available, but really key Poppy ultimate, and especially once we get the replay, just keep your eyes on the channel later on in the fight. It starts with good engage by Gamsu because Rudy's passing to the side. Good steadfast presence. Look at the double knock-up here though. The gravity field knocks him in. Hylissang waits with Q, and look, as Vizichachi is channeling, everybody's kind of holding their breath. As they're holding their breath, they're dying. And then a max range, max channel on Febiven gets knocked back. They lose the fight. Vizichachi overchases though, no respect for Febiven. If they turned right before this, they could have actually went to Baron. At least baited out the Febiven ultimate or get some vision. So really good start of the fight, but the end was sloppy.
You can still see the strength that Reckless and Febiven have. On that back foot, running away, Orbit Deception and Mystic Shots, doing a lot of damage to UOL.
A really good kite. Trying to chase an Ahri with ultimate available and a blue Ezreal, that leads to, yeah, a player of Febiven's caliber will 90% sure hit that charm right there. And then blue Ez will slow you and then make that 100% anyway.
Yeah.
Look at Febiven flanking again. He's constantly aware of the side lane pressures. We see reaction here though. He has to turn around. His teleport comes into the mid lane. Flying from Hylissang too.
Fantastic flash from Spirit. He doesn't get charged and pinned against the wall. Gamsu's sitting on the side lane though. Now Febiven's into the fight. Vizichachi's on the defensive. He's not started the wind up yet. Fires it out. I think that caught Gamsu. Pushed him further away. Nobody's fallen yet. Defensive dash backwards from Febiven. And they managed to get away unscathed.
Yeah, that was a fantastic opening from the Unicorns though. They knew Febiven wasn't there, or they expected him to go for the side lane. They're immediately going for Baron here. No ultimate, longer on Spirit, and Hylissang still has flash available. He was hesitating, didn't want to use it. He is low though.
So Chachi's teleport starts the initiation. Gamsu's teleport ends the Baron. Chachi's going to be able to sidestep the charm. Thanks, I think, to the movement speed from the crab. But wow, Spirit's flash to avoid the stun. It literally made me stutter.
Oh, Vizichachi. Oh,
He's in
dead,
trouble.
dead.
He's in. Bye.
That here, yeah. He can't dash out. Really good comp. That is communication. That's something we haven't seen from Unicorns. They would both check that play last season, I feel. So,
all right, but what will it cost now? Cly gets caught up by the cocoon, gets pinned against the wall. Before he can do anything, he's taken out. Fox is going to continue to run down Fnatic. The Death Ray wants to secure kills, but Spirit plus Reckless running away are putting the damage down. Spirit's Dance of Arrows. Reckless is now out of mana. So they get Rudy in the cost of Cly. No smite for Baron if they want to retry.
yeah, and Fnatic just falling prey to their own playstyle right here. They did a great job in this game by getting the side lane control. Featherman constantly looking for the push, looking for the pressure. But right now, he knows he made a mistake because he took the greedy path. You should never be walking here blind. You should walk with your wave and wait for your team to reveal the opposing members in the mid lane and then figure out who's left. Can I duel them? And can I face-stick them into Poppy and Alistar? Listen to that. Cly gets caught by Cocoon, comes to the wall. Look at Fox. If he can walk up freely, there's a good sign that you will be losing this fight.
Reckless running low on mana. Just, again, you know, we talked about Vizichachi at the beginning of the day.
Failed combo though by Hillsong, and it cost him his flash. Something we did not mention in that initial fight.
So let's see. No flash on Hilly. No flash on Rudy. And Fox will get his back shortly. Whereas on the side of Fnatic, it's only Spirits and Cly without that ability. We're still really in an extended Baron fight, and Chachi's found another opportunity. Keeper's vertical holds Spirits and Cly in place. Gamsu pulls Hilly forward, not the greatest target. The zoning ultimate from the Chaos Storm. Gamsu is still on the front line. He's been tanking up 5 members of the Unicorns, and Fnatic feel they may want to go forward. They opt away as Featherman's deciding not to engage on the side lane. The Spirit Rush is available. The only ultimate used there on the side of Fnatic was Gamsu and Cly.
A different approach right here, using the Poppy ultimate as a combo tool instead. And the zoning ultimate from Fox. Gamsu moves in, gets knocked into the wall.
Let's take a look. He is in trouble. Spirit does have access to Lamb's Respite, but he was in the air. Couldn't get it down. Reckless still low on mana. Charm onto Chachi, but you don't want to invest everything on very tanky top laner. Reckless, he actually went forward with that arcane shift. I'm not sure that was the best of ideas. He's going to continue to fall backwards. No Glacial Fissure from Cly. And Fnatic in a 4v5, trying to stall out Baron. Featherman is caught up by the Fangs. Rudy's not going to be able to get back to human form or Cocoon.
Yeah, and now is when you gotta start criticizing Fnatic. What are you still doing with 2 sweepers and 2 yellow trinkets when you're continuously face-checking and dying in the process? Switch to the blue trinket. Check those brushes, then try to make the play while you're watching your enemies stand in the brush kind of with their pants down. Instead, Fnatic face-check. They use the Victor ultimate right now on the Baron. You see Hillsang peeling. What a fantastic job he's done this far in terms of engages and disengages.
It's going to secure the Baron. Hilly literally walks away.
Yeah, Vizichachi's kind of hyping up the card. He's like, hey, no.
And just like that, Unicorns secure their 2nd Baron of the game.
But it all comes to, yeah, plays that follow up on each other. We see an initial fight where Vizichachi engages very well and uses the Keeper's Verdict as a combo tool. And then Fox could just unleash. And if he misses his storm, he just sends it forward. Everybody has to back out.
Oh, look at
steals
that!
the dragon.
Rudy's so cheeky, he even gets in on the Dragon. Spirit did not have access to his smites. And there's Chachi, he's coming with a teleport, looking for Cly. Glacial Fissure will slow down the rest of Unicorns, but Fox, he's flanking on the side. Cly's pinned against the wall. The charm will not connect, and that's a low mana again on Reckless. He cannot spam those Mystic shots. Febi's looking for Chachi, will not be able to find him. So Dragon number 2, denied from Fnatic.
Yeah, the waves are not near the towers though. Unicorns have to peel back, start pushing these waves to use that Baron buff. Cly's only dead for 22 more seconds. I finished the sentence. Talk slowly, eventually you'll be right. They're gonna siege right now. But really good engages here from Vizichachi. And we see earlier in the game, he was kind of Gamsu's victim, but right now, later you go, more futile Nautilus becomes as a champion. He gets rendered into pretty much a CC bot.
He's got to find the right target to CC in UOL. They are the ones that are dictating the engager. So the last time they had Baron, Fnatic were able to play aggressively on the side lane because Featherman could push out deep.
Yeah.
Don't know if they'll have that opportunity. Down bottom, maybe. Instead, Fnatic are drawn into a full-on defense top lane, 5v4.
Chachi's not here, and he doesn't have teleport. So Fnatic have no way of finding out, really. He's going to pass over a ward really soon. Maybe that triggers something. Rudy's already in the flank. And Reckless is actually going in these very long, repetitive fights. So that's also something Fnatic have to be careful for.
Dive from behind. You could see Hilly and Chachi coming in.
They're just making their presence known. They actually don't want to dive. They just want to tell Fnatic to back off. Feels like another missed combo. A lot easier in 6.3. Too easy in 6.3.
Well, we're not there yet.
Nope.
Still playing 6.2. Maybe that's why. So, Siege continues. Less than 30 seconds remaining on that Baron buff for Fnatic. They've decided to peel away. Chachi wants to zone the defensive moves, and that is a very big jump in gold. 4,000 additional gold over Fnatic in this Baron power play.
The base is still alive, though. If you can't siege in and force an opening with the Baron buff, it only means that Fnatic should be able to hang out without it. But they need to start switching to blue thinkers, because they have to get used to playing with less vision. Because look at the control Unicorns have. Fnatic haven't really established any of those deep vision.
That's one of the better power plays that we've seen, albeit not costing the most towers. He has denied resources, picked up a lot of CS, and look down bottom, Rudy's also going to pick up a lot of juicy farm. One inner turret per Baron.
Take it slow.
Strap in, boys.
I mean, Fnatic and Unicorns have a history of making very long games.
And ending ridiculously dramatically.
Yeah, so they're probably still writing the script right now. How do we finish this game in an exciting fashion? There's no Zizzy Rock, there's no Banner of Command, so that's off the list. Been there, done that.
Sadly.
They tried a bit of a base race with Featherman, but then it didn't play out. So, let's see.
All right.
Can he be creative? Or
Chachi's winding up.
he's knocking on the door.
Unbreakable will get rid of Clyde. No Fisher comes down. Wave there from Feb is decent, but that's 50% of the hit points on what was effectively just one wave.
There is actually an interaction that you can do that we saw, I believe, in Challenger. Gamsu should start walking forward whenever Vizichachi sets the ulti up. When he gets hit, he should Q out. The Nautilus Part 2 of Dredgeland will cancel the flight from the Keeper's Verdict, and you will immediately fly back to Poppy. So you can actually outplay there, and maybe Gamsu needs to start soaking up his ultimate, because it is first target hit, first come, first served when it comes to the knockback to the base. So if Gamsu times that right with a Dredgeline, he can actually completely nullify in that zone. And Fnatic can start playing a lot more aggressive. It requires extreme amounts of communication, though,
oh, yes.
and faith.
Timing's not exactly something Gamsu's been super great at.
Yeah, because if it fails, your tank just flew all the way back to your base, and you're standing there, yeah, ready to die. So,
Crepo, we're 40 minutes in. Zeke's Harbinger has been completed next to the Equinox, next to Locket for Hylissang. Edge also in Steelback's possession. To go with that Triforce, Rapid Fire.
yeah, the problem I have with it is he's probably using it on, he has to be using it on Steelback, and it only gives you 30% extra crit because Steelback's sitting already on 70, so I'm quite sure. You do increase his ability power, so Steelback will now jump from 0 ability power to 0. So I'm not quite sure, I'm not a big fan of the Harbinger buy here. Because even when it procs, you give Corki, out of all people, 30% extra crit.
Wow, look at that damage onto Clyde. Forced to flash away and then dash. Stand behind me, he says. Reckless again running low on mana. As we've seen time and time again this game. Baron will be respawning shortly.
It's a war of attrition. Reckless is the only one with the blue trinket too, because when he has the base for his mana, he will be the only one that could technically spot a Baron coming up.
It's about a minute away. 6-2, unfortunately, there's a spectator bug on those timers.
But luckily for us, Quickshot has a photographic memory. He knows exactly when a Baron will come up.
You had to say it, dude. Yeah, it's just like a giant target now, so we'll see how this goes. You can see Featherman and Fnatic shoving out this middle lane. Wave should be pushing, I think, towards UOL in that top, and Chachi with teleports has now moved down to that bottom lane. So the side lane dance is on, but neither team is truly committing to the boogie.
Boogie? Okay.
I was trying to think of a different word for dance. We'll figure a boogie woogie in a minute.
Macro.
No. probably told us off for that.
Anyways, back to the mid lane. Fox and Poke. Fly's half HP, so that's part of the zone in the front line gone. The other part of the front line is in the jungle right now. Gamsu, that means Foxy go aggressive. Teleport from Chachi.
And
he has one guard
Fly
smoke.
is in trouble. He has been taken out. The Flash Chaos Storm connected. Chachi's not going to be able to find a pin against the wall, but without the Glacial Fissure, Fnatic are going to have a hard time in the team fight. Gamsu is way out of position.
Yeah.
If UOL rush the tower.
Chachi actually didn't teleport from the base. He teleported from within the base somewhere, but his home guards ran off, so it couldn't really have a big impact there. So Gamsu trying to flank. He's in no man's land right now. Siege on the turret.
This turret's in trouble. Flash forward. Spirit's been caught out. Lamb's Respite will buy a couple of seconds, but that's all it will do. The tower drops in the back line. So does Spirit. This could be the game-winning push for UOL. How far do they want to go?
Yeah, Fox with a really good gravity field on Spirit's ultimate, but couldn't get out of the Lamb's Respite because he would die. Couldn't stay in there because he was stuck in the gravity field. He drops right now, 5 versus 3.
Is a mine available. Hilly flashes forward, finds this combo, but he loses his life in the process. Does take down Gamsu. That's the front line for Fnatic. A fair trade, I would say. Fnatic now have to deal with supers and Baron spawn.
Febiven has ultimate and flash available. Reckless still has some mana left. Kai is available. He can soak up skill shots, so by no means Unicorn's out of this. They walk on a ward. This could be it. Could be the turn for Fnatic if they play it out.
Let's see what Fnatic can do. There is a connection. They knock Febiven up into the air. Chachi's going low. Kai's still in the front line, and Fox is blown up. Reckless still has some mana to push down. A flash over the wall with the arcane shift, but Steelback is able to reply onto Febiven. It's a mid for mid.
Good trade here overall. Still for the Unicorns though. Those ultimates were up again. Fnatic was not ready for another Chaos Storm. They were waiting for something to misposition, but in doing so, they clumped up and Fox completely unleashes on that team. Reckless right now looking for Dragon number 3 out of mana. Painfully slow. Watch that again. They're not ready for it again. You know, the Keeper's verdict right here. Kai moves in zones. Febiven has to fight defensively, and then look at the damage. Fox.
Just fantastic. Febiven is able to get so much burst down. Combo with Reckless, but you can also see the power of that Israel. He needs a lot of time. He needs multiple Mystic shots.
Mana.
And
There's
mana.
clarity when you need it.
Left it at level 2. Fnatic now have to defend a potential third Baron from UOL. No one is in range. Two-shot barrage, swing and a miss. And UOL secure Baron number 3. Mr. Statsman, start that timer. Baron power play, 2 minutes 50 remaining.
That's it. Anyways. Thinking of a follow-up for that. Yeah, Baron power play. I don't think it will be that big because Baron power plays that result in game ending or Nexus towers kind of don't generate too much gold.
Hey man, you get 50 extra gold for killing the Nexus.
Yeah.
Well, one guy does.
I wonder if the game actually ends before or after that. So the question, Spellsy? Does the 50 gold count? Anyways.
Did the chicken come before the egg?
Yeah.
It's the League of Legends equivalent. 50 gold counts to your post-game
It
stats.
actually does. So Spellsy just...
Thank you, the stats bender himself.
Yeah, whispered in our ear. Anyways, Unicorns of Love setting up for a siege in the bottom lane. They can just wait for minions to push on themselves in the middle lane. Again, Keeper's Verdict works even better in side lanes than it does in the mid lane because it's such a smaller lane to siege on, so the zone from Poppy Ultimate is big. Hylissang has been, we can't say this enough, just so key in their engages. He's willing to throw in his life to trade 1-for-1. He has been disengaging. He's been Q-Flash engaging aggressively on champions that you would not expect to actually catch. A couple of times he went there for the aggressive Q-Flash on Reckless, who has shift available. So really good solid play here from Unicorn's front line. And Steelback is 2-0-8. He's gone completely unnoticed because that's the way he kind of plays. It's invisible damage almost. Really good positioning.
Fnatic definitely don't think it's invisible. They're on the receiving end of it. Gamsu was kicked away by the Verdict, and that allows UOL to get the tower. And UOL are going to reset up. Now, there's no supers in the middle lane, so there's some time. A catch onto Steelback. He is in a little bit of trouble. Glacial Fissure will knock up the rest of UOL, but that means Cry is down.
Double knockup.
As well as Reckless has been kept on the back line. It's a double kill for Fox. Spirit will stay alive a few more seconds, and the zone from the gravity field. Febiven and Reckless, they cannot do anything. A GA for Rudy. He flashes forward just to wave, say hi, it's Rudy, I'm walking away. The Nexus Tower is now falling, and as we hit 50 minutes in the clock, almost, UOL are looking set to go 2-0 over Fnatic in the Spring Splits.
What a game here. Steelback 0 deaths, 3-0-10 against his former organization too. I haven't really mentioned that. It has to feel good for Steelback. Spring split ends, leave on amicable terms. Go for the group hug.
I want to expand on that because Steelback himself said, I am a better player than MS.